Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's time for War 10 of the season. I only had 3 fights this war, but 2 of them were mini bosses, which I was extremely excited to get those fights. I can't wait to show them to you. One with a magic tip that some of you magic players out there may have already known, but I was not aware of it, and it is extremely helpful. I can't wait to show you it. And then 2 extra fights here, one from JT, who continues to show us how to solo, how to make sure you know how to defeat Hitmonkey, especially in war with a difficult node. And then DLL with some of the best corner evading I know that I've ever seen against a power snacks Domino. All right, let's get to the show. All right, we're going to start off with JT's fights here. This first fight is going to be against Hitmonkey. If you've missed it in the previous war, I think it was 2 wars ago, he had Hitmonkey on an ebb and flow lane, chose not to take in Magik and try to power control, took in Doom, really paid a lot of attention to when he knocks Hitmonkey down and being smart about that. Now, this is an R3 Hitmonkey against an alliance I know very well with an excellent defense. And so, when Hitmonkey gets knocked down, he enters both of those charges. A lot of what, wow. So the battery even went down, which, as we all know, can really interrupt a fight. JT does know the evade of the SP1 very well, so he's also going to be working on baiting that, as you see. But he is not going to be doing the standard Doom cycle of the slap at the end there. And the reason is that would trigger both of Hitmonkey's stances, let's call them, giving him the shrug and then also the evade. And so, JT does not want to do that. He is just baiting the SP1. He's being very smart about this. You see that the protection has not been removed, but he's about a minute into the fight and Hitmonkey's already half dead. He's now going to throw the SP3 because he's there. And I still not tired of that animation. And you see how much damage that's doing. The protection has been removed. JT has gone in now for the Doom cycle. And, the fight is basically over here. The stances have been triggered. JT's doing a great job of just baiting the SP1 so he doesn't have to worry about it, allowing him to then stun Hitmonkey and go in and take care of it. So thank you, JT. Those really are great examples on how to fight Hitmonkey, a defender that I know I've struggled with and a lot of people do struggle with, in particular, like how to handle those stances. So excellent fight and amazing. So let's now move into this fight from DLL. He is bringing in his Mysterio, who they don't frequently see in war, but I think we're about to see the damage that he can do. Of particular interest in this is that this is power snacks. So anytime that there is a buff triggered on DLL, there's that, I don't remember exactly what the percentile is or what the percentile chance is, but Domino will be gaining power. So as a result, DLL really does not want to trigger dexterity here. And in some ways, that's going to get him into a little bit of trouble. I chatted with him a bit about it, and he said that in hindsight, if he were to take this again, he would probably be throwing his SP2s. He felt that the damage from Mysterio, the poison damage, was sufficient without having to go to the SP3. And as we look at it now, we see that Domino's at 64%. We're a minute into the fight, and DLL is at 81%. And one of the big reasons for that is what you're going to see happen here by virtue of not wanting to trigger the power gains and the dexterity. DLL is going to end up getting backed in the corner here. He's holding on to the SP3. And you're about to see, this is the evading that I was talking about. See, he had a plan in the fight. The plan did not go exactly how he wanted to, but he stayed calm. I don't think I could stay this calm. And look at this corner play. He's continuously parrying her. He's holding block long enough to take the hits and then just evading, dexing these heavies continuously, hoping that she will throw her SP2, right? If he throws his SP3 here, he's going to send her red and it's game over. It's Domino. This is a significant amount of time in the corner and she will not throw her SP2. Finally, she throws it. He's now lost, what we said, 81%. So he's now lost 35% of his health. But The point is just to solo the fight. The point isn't to make it out with 81% or 100%. Throws the SP3, and so now he's going to be able to really charge up his poison damages, as we know, us Mysterio's lovers know. He finds himself again trying to bait that SP2, again, out of concern of sending her red. And now the big poison's been applied, and it is absolutely game over. So 2 excellent examples. One of how to fight 2 very, very difficult defenders. The first from JT, how to defeat, how to solo Hit Monkey there, really being aware of the stances, staying calm, and doing what you know to do, and evading that SP1. And then DLL against another extremely difficult defender there in Domino, being aware of the node with the backup recovery, and then also power snacks, staying calm. And all those evades in the corner were incredible. Way to go. Thank you very much, both of you. And now moving on to my first fight. So I was excited. I only got 3 fights. You know, it is what it is that we needed me to help out, or it was more efficient for me to help out in lane 5. So this is the ebb and flow knockdown here. And, you know, this is a pretty simple fight for Magneto. This is one of those fights where just don't mess it up. Just don't mess it up. You know, land your parries. If you make a mistake, stay calm. Don't worry about, you know, getting out of the fight with 80% health. Like, who cares? Just solo the fight. Okay, so as we were saying, in this fight, I just basically don't want to mess it up. I think that's the point of this. The way the matchups worked, and me going in even with the heal block and with Magneto against Darkhawk, it's really just don't mess this up, right? And so I am landing some combos just to make sure I don't get myself backed into the corner and somehow take an SP3 or end up having to do evades like we just saw from DLL. I don't want to have to do that if I don't need to. And so I'm making sure I'm charging up the heavy here. Darkhawk is clearly metal. And so we're getting the longer stuns, taking advantage of that, build up into the SP3. And then, you know, because of the way this node worked, I didn't have to sit there and bait SP2s over and over and worry about triggering dexterity. So I was able to just attack into him, knock him down, get the protection off. So now moving in on to the mini bosses. And this felt good. This felt great to get some mini boss action, right? I am going in again with another excellent option. I think one of the best champions in the game. We've talked about MODOK. I've fought MODOK before. And one of the things I struggle with is that that Magneto is going to reduce MODOK's ability accuracy. And so sometimes things will trigger and sometimes they won't. My advice, or what I have found really helpful, is just to assume that all of the abilities of MODOK will trigger. Like there, he went indestructible. If I was planning on him not being indestructible and then he goes indestructible, that would throw me off. That would throw me off. So I'm just going to assume he's going to go indestructible, which is fine, as you see. All it means is I just need to parry him when he goes into attack. It's not like it really throws off the fight. This is a very simple parry heavy fight. Make sure you get the indestructible off. You know, sometimes this does happen. We all make mistakes, but we'll throw our special into that indestructible and do no damage. And that's frustrating. That's unnerving. That's the kind of thing that sends you down into that rabbit hole that you don't want to get into, of course. This is a close war. I really wanted to come through for my alliance. Plus, you know, I told myself that they were giving me a chance at mini bosses here. So I wanted to prove myself in a way. Built up the specials, made sure I stayed on MODOK's side of the map. I don't care if this fight takes 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute. It doesn't matter. I want to come out of it alive and solo. We ended up with 100% health, which is great. And then, of course, you see what the special 3 did to him there. So, you know, the advice is stay calm. In my opinion, assume that all his ability actually is going to work. And you'll do fine. So moving on to this. This is the magic, the tip here. So there's the improved power gain with SymSup, the way he gains power. You know, it is what it is, but we went ultra safe. B Manny, my BG leader, said, you know, use the power one start. After talking with him and Taters and Duke and DLL, they all said, look, you can do this. Take a 5-hit combo to the face. If you see that you've started in limbo, which we did, take a 5-hit combo to the face, you're going to go to 2 bars of power, and then watch what happens when limbo ends. Watch this. It will eventually happen. Trust me on this one. All the way back to full health. And the reason is because you healed back the damage you took when you were in limbo. So this is great. And if we go back to a few wars ago on that fight against Punisher 99, I think it was on a kinetic transference node. That's really the tip there. And I talked to Tater, I talked to all the same people again. They said, look, you were a little careless there by not having block already done. And so they said, make sure you have your block on, confirm that you have limbo, that you've started in limbo. There's going to be about a 50% chance because my magic is a SIG 200. And then let them hit into you, driving you up to the 2 bars of power. And I said, okay, fine. That makes a lot of sense. And in the next war video, you'll see I got to take this same node, different opponent, different defender. And I did it, and I felt very good about it. And it's just a great way. I think it's one of those things that really advanced players know about that I'm excited to have now learned. Maybe a lot of you already knew that, but I bet there's a few of you that didn't. So it's a great way to take there to make sure that you get to your 2nd bar of power and can apply the power lock before the defender has reached maybe even 1 bar of power, which in many cases is something you want to do. As I said, this was a very, very, very close war. Shout out to subscriber Matthias, and this was their first war in Masters, if I understood him correctly, and I believe I did. They played excellently, and we were able to come up with the win, though. I think we're getting kind of used to these MVPs. Like, there's a lot of excellent players in for Loki. That being said, Lizer, FaZe, and Karate Mike seem to be consistently up there and earning the cards and those sorts of things. So I'm pumped up. I felt great. I got to take 3 mini boss fights this war, and I'm excited for you to see the next war too. So I hope you learned something. I hope you're entertained, and take care. See you soon.
I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.